sales officer, one of your 4 co-founders. Really happy to be here this morning. I'm going to go on and get out of the way so we can get our VP of training up and so he can share some nuggets. I want to shout out to the team that went out and took the call that took the play that I called, and within 24 hours showed up and had over 35 guests on the line last night. I commend you. It was amazing. You all did a phenomenal job. And so we need to duplicate that more and more. You got your guests out. They came and participated in grand openings. And so it was just a real warm, and that was in less than 24 hours. So guys, when you say what you can't do, just do it. Just have the mindset of, yes, I'm going to go out and make it. I'm going to set my foot in the sand. I'm going to make me a goal, and I am going to complete that goal. And I just commend each and every one of you to hitting that goal. So without further ado, is our VP of training on the line.
Absolutely. Good morning. And you stay right there, Miss Phyllis. Stay right there.
Out the door, my love. Okay.
See how you treat me?
Well, don't take me long to I regroup. I pivoted. You asked, and I just
No. Only reason I said that, yesterday was an absolutely amazing morning. And as to your point, if you look at the results, this stuff works.
Yes.
And I wanted to really kind of dig in deep and get some people that wouldn't mind sharing and volunteering to have some conversation with us this morning.
Well, you know what? You made me stay. I have some suggestions on that. That play I just called, I want some of the new people to say how they took the play and they played it. They didn't ask. They didn't say I couldn't do it. So I'm right here with you, even though I was out the door. Go on.
And I'm going to tell you, and that's exactly what I wanted to discuss, because the reality is people, that if you follow the playbook, or if you like sports, the coach calls a play, you follow the play through. When you execute the play, more than likely, if you got a good coach, the play is going to work. And then if you like cooking, if you follow the recipe, more than likely, you're going to get the same results that the creator of the recipe wanted you to get. The only time that the cake don't turn out just right, the only time the sauce becomes too salty, is when you make a decision to not follow the recipe. The only time you get beat, and after a great play has been called, is when you decide not to execute it accordingly. And so let's get some of those people up. I was listening to the energy yesterday in the room, and I heard, and if you remember, one of the last things Bernadine said is her takeaway.
Right.
She said her takeaway was to move out and immediately, instead of sitting there talking, and she used the exact words, and having diarrhea at the mouth, to show the video for 4 minutes and move from there and ask the next question. What did you like best?
Absolutely. So
now guess what she's going to do? She's going to go out. If I know Bernadine, she's going to do that 10, 15 times this week.
Yeah.
And it's going to work. I'm going to pass it back to you. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, last night we had a phenomenal grand opening for about 10 distributors. And they were told on Monday evening to go out and have a minimum of 5 guests. We had, I think that at the top, we had 76 people on the line. Now, this was Friday evening. The next day, they were called to action, should have been in play. And I say this all the time. You just got to keep saying the same thing, Dan, until somebody gets it. And this gentleman, Mike Newsom and Trish Newsom out of Richmond, Virginia, who came on and during our Founders Pack, since has become a certified wellness coach, having his first event, big church event, where they'll be doing bioscans. I'm not able to go and assist them. I was going to go, but then Tracy Bolton's wedding is this week, and I was not going to leave Tracy. So he and Trish and his team there so far are going to actually do this by themselves. They said they can handle it. But yesterday, probably about 3:00, 3:30 maybe, I called him and I said, you know what? I don't need to be doing the presentation. You guys all need to be doing the presentation. So I said, you and Trish should do the presentation. And he didn't give me any back. He didn't say, I'm not ready. He didn't say he's on every call. So I just want him to tell you. And then after that, Dan, he had me on the phone doing 3-ways last night after that call. That's the system. So Mike Newsom, if you and Trish are out there, can you kind of just share, hey, you followed the system, and just share what it took for you to do what you did last night? You just did it.
Good morning, Phyllis. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Good morning.
Coach Dan, how you doing, sir?
I am empowered, man. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. I am so humbled by this recognition this morning. It's nothing special that we did. Coach Phyllis called the play, and we went out there and executed in faith. And myself and my team, who've been plugged in, we had a bunch of guests on the line last night, and it was such a blessing to be a part of that event, to be able to be a co-host, be a co-presenter, to be able to support my fellow brand ambassadors. And it was just a beautiful moment. I'm very humbled by that opportunity.
Well, you did a phenomenal job, and I know this is your call. I'm just talking, but let me say something, Dan. The team, Sylvia Covington, our Emerald, was the host. Dr. Roz and Trish and Mike did the presentation. The energy of when we started off with all 10 people, and they all had phenomenal testimonies. That's how we started. Why you said yes to Wakana. I'm sorry. And the energy by the time we got to the presentation was up the roof. So I don't see any other participants. If you're there, I'd like you to, Rachel had a person this year call me with a 3-way right before the call. I said, let's get on the call. That person is now going to be in the business. So that's the kind of energy you saw last night. And guys, I'm only saying this, we can duplicate it by it being more than one person having a grand opening. And some of the people had grand openings, Dan. And that call was full. They stayed on the line. They engaged. So I'm giving it back to you, Dan. I don't see any other names. If there are any other names of those that were honored or participated as your grand opening, you can unmute yourself and just share how that worked for you.
And if not, while we have Mike there,
yes,
here's what I'd like to ask. Let's get to some practical stuff. So the call went out, and I tell Ms. Phyllis all the time, every call should have a call to action at the end, right? And so a call to action was given. Mike, what did you do specifically? Because we tell people all the time, you got to get people on the call. You got to get people in the grand opening. You got to get people in the room. What specifically did you and your team do? What specifically did you say to get people and motivate people to get on that call or get in that room to make certain that you hit the numbers that you guys were seeking to achieve?
Wow. Well, I think it all started, prior to with Phil's calling the team together and starting to, call the play. And, I've been fortunate to have team members in those meetings. And when Phil's called the play about getting guests to the grand opening, they jumped into action. It made sense. And what I did personally was I basically just wrote up a script and saying, hey, look, this is my grand opening, and I want you to attend. I put the link, and I put the all of the information on how to access the Zoom. And I went to my phone list in my phone, and I went to my Facebook distribution list, and I just
Now,
all
now,
day
now
long I was
listen, Mike.
okay.
Now listen, real quick. You just said that you basically wrote the script, and then you said you invited them to the grand opening. What did you say in your script? Because people, let me, and the reason why I'm asking this question, just to qualify real quick, is because there's a bunch of people that's on this line that have invited people to their grand opening, and the people didn't show up. There's a bunch of people on the line that sent out text messages, Facebook messages, and all of that stuff on their and on their various social media, and people didn't show up. What specifically were you saying in your script, and your team was saying that to get people to show up?
Well, I kept it simple. I just kept it basic. I put the headline that says personal invitation. And I said, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm having a national virtual grand opening launch party for my company, Blue Moon Health and Wellness. We will discuss health, wellness, financial empowerment, and lifestyle. Please accept my personal invitation. It will be fun and informative. I look forward to seeing you tonight on the Zoom. Thank you for your support. Reply yes if I will see you at the event tonight. And I had the links.
Now, how many people did you send that out to?
Probably about 50, 60. That's the problem. I send it out to individuals and I posted it publicly. And I don't know if some of them people weren't there or not last night, but I did capture the ones that I could see. But I would say, personally, I sent it out to about 50 people.
Okay, 50 people. And so now watch this. Everyone understands we always talk about your top 100 list. And you know, Coach Dan says that you got to always be updating that list. So if you're in this business and you're not updating your top 100 list on a weekly or consistent basis, then you're missing out on opportunity. And so what Mike did was, out of 100 people, he sent it to 50 personally for one grand opening, 50 personally, and then posted it on the social media platforms. One of the things we keep telling you, and you have to understand, is that this business you're in is a numbers business. And here's what I need you to know. You'll never run out of numbers. Wait a minute, Coach, what are you talking about? This business is a numbers business. The more people you talk to, the more results you're going to get, and you'll never run out of people. Well, Coach, I don't have 100 people in my contact list. No, you may not. However, you come in contact with 100 people. How? You go to the grocery store. You go to work. Some of you may go to church. You come in contact. Some of you decide you want to go for a walk. You come in contact with people all day. Now, it's not who you know. It's who you get to know. And we say this to you all. I say it to you all the time. It's not who you know. It's who you get to know. Who you know is your low-hanging fruit. It's your warm market. Who you get to know is going to become your warm market if you get to know them. So you'll never run out of people, but it's all about the numbers. So watch. If Mike sent 50, and then let's say the average person on his team sent, here we go, 50, and let's say that's 5 people. That's 250 people that got an invitation. And as a result, I believe the number I heard was about 35 guests showed up. What are we saying? There's power in numbers. And when 35 guests shows up to a presentation, it creates energy. And you have 5 or 7 people I think you said 10 distributors on the call, that creates energy. Or in the room, it creates energy. So what are we saying to you? Why don't you collaborate with fellow team members? Collaborate with your upline. Collaborate with those individuals, your downline, and pull it together. He said he gave a national call. It was a national grand opening, which means spread your wings. It's virtual. So because it's virtual, guess what? Whosoever will, no matter where they are, can participate. So here's the call to action. Here's the call to action. Here's the call to action. This is what I want you to do. I want whoever's on this line, I want you to connect with at least 3 people. And I want you guys this week, today is Wednesday, yes, this week, I want you guys to all come together and make a decision to invite 50 people. So if you just connect with 3 people, that's 150 people that's going to get an invitation to a grand opening. Want it done this week. And y'all set that thing up.
Coach Dan, they're doing this. This group is repeating this tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central, Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central. So, hey, everybody, Dr. Ross can put the link on the Wakanda Facebook page, and everybody can make sure that they can do it. So, like I said, here's 24 more hours. This is Wednesday. The call is 7 p.m. on Thursday. So you can do it because they did it.
And that's all what we're trying to get you to understand. And what I was going to talk about initially was I was going to talk about a 2x5 system. A 2x5 system. And that was I want you guys to talk to 2 people, not just have a casual conversation, but talk to 2 people 5 days a week at minimum. 2 people hear your presentation 5 days a week. And I love for it to be belly to belly, but I understand. 2 people, that's the goal. I didn't tell you 5, I didn't tell you 10. I want you to do 2 presentations a day, 5 days a week. That means in a week's time, personal, this is personal. In a week's time, you've talked, 10 people have heard the presentation of Wakanda. 10 people. And after the 10 people have heard that, on a weekly basis, that's 40 people on a monthly basis. Now, guess what? Every time you do this presentation, every time you do a third-party close, you're going to get better and better and better and better. So your closing ratio is going to begin to increase. You heard Dr. Minister Diamond Mooney say yesterday these words. He said it's all about the numbers. So you got to know where your numbers are. You have to know what your closing ratio is. And the only way you're going to learn that is if you're actually being consistent out here doing presentations. When I was building businesses in whatever organization I was in, the first thing that I did was I became a master of the presentation. Now, in the beginning of doing that presentation, I did it exactly how it was laid out. I did it exactly how I saw the best in the business, that the number ones and number 2 guys doing it. I just mimicked them. And then as I started to become more comfortable, I started injecting humor and all of that, and I made the presentation mine. But it's 2 a day. 2 presentations a day. How many did Coach say?
2.
2 a day. I'm not talking about a casual conversation. I'm talking about I want you to get to the point where you can give that presentation 20 minutes or less, and you have belly to belly, jump on Zooms and say, hey, listen, I need 20 minutes, and start doing it. And you're going to begin to know your closing ratio. You're going to begin to have the activity and the traction. And before you know it, we're going to be announcing you as Diamond. Before you know it, we're going to be announcing you as 2-star Diamond. Why? Because you're following these systems. And anybody that has not been told, or anybody that has not qualified for the cruise yet, there is still time. There's no doubt in my mind with the level of activity that Mike and Tristan Newsom has, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to qualify for the cruise. And we have, I don't know what day of the week it is, what's the date, but we got about 2 weeks before the end of the month. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. If you're in this business to make money, save lives, and have freedom, then work the business like a business. I told my son, and he plays basketball, I'm going to close us out with this. When he first started playing ball, he was allowed to come to the practice. But he couldn't get a uniform, he couldn't get on in the game. And he became comfortable with just being the towel boy. He became comfortable with being the bottle boy. Then finally, he got a uniform. But then he's 9 and 10 off the bench. And he was just glad to be on the team. It's a winning team. And I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad to watch. But he never played. Finally, I finally got it in his mind to say, hey, bro, if you're going to be in it to be a participant in it. Don't be in it just to be a cheerleader. Go get you some. Be cheered for as much as you're cheering for. And what I'm saying to you that today, those of you that's listening and paying attention and following instructions and got in this business because you wanted to live a healthier lifestyle, you wanted to build wealth and engage in financial freedom. What I'm saying to you is don't just be comfortable being on the call. Don't just be comfortable saying I am a part. Participate in the process of winning so that you can actually experience what the people that you're cheering for is experiencing, and so that we can cheer for you. We're going to cheer you on, but I can't wait to cheer for you. Come on. I'm cheering you on right now. But I can't wait to call your name like Phyllis called Mike's name, because now we're cheering for you. Why we're cheering for you? Because you're scoring, you're participating, you're winning, and you have momentum, and we want to celebrate you. But you cannot become complacent in mediocrity. You can't be cool with just being okay. If better is possible, then good is not enough. And let me tell you, unless you 5-star diamond, better is still possible. I'm done. I shifted. I'm sorry. Become a participant in the process of gaining prosperity for yourself. Let's get to work. I want y'all to have a supernaturally wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Akana kind of day. And until next time, as always,